lesson 3. In the past 2 units, we've talked a lot about the different syllable types. Does anybody remember the syllable types that we've already talked about? Ronaldo, yeah.
Open syllables.
Good, we've talked about open syllables, right? What else have we talked about? Yeah.
Closed syllables.
Closed syllables. And what else have we talked about? Ariel?
What page?
We're not on the page yet. What other syllables have we talked about? Yeah, Ronaldo. Are controlled syllables. So we've already discussed 3 types of syllables. We're going to be reviewing those today.
What did you see that are some of the specific highlights you can take away? Anything?
My absolute favorite was a choral reading.
Okay.
Because I usually have mine popcorn read.
Okay.
Or I'll call the next reader. But I really liked the way that she did it because, like you guys said earlier, it ensured that everybody was on track. They were all keeping up with her. Because sometimes when you do popcorn, you've got one of the kids that's like, you're not paying attention to the other student that's reading, but this way everybody had to stay engaged. So I really liked that.
Well, and you could tell that they were tracking. They were following along through either saying the blank that she didn't say blank.
That's what I liked.
But they had to fill it in, or you could see their eyes tracking, or some were tracking with their fingers. And the majority of them were actually saying it.
What were some of the routines you know she has taught?
Fluency was a big one. Like you said, or we mentioned earlier, everyone was following along, and that's pretty phenomenal. I thought they all knew what to do, not only the reading, as soon as the timer set, everyone started reading, but what struck me most was everybody was following along.
You know what I thought was interesting also? They knew they were expected to do it. They started immediately when she started the timer. And then she had a malfunction with the timer. She didn't stop the lesson and go, oh, wait, because that would be a disruption. She knew exactly. I don't even think the students knew that the timer wasn't going. They weren't looking at the timer at all, I don't believe. She went in, got a different timer. She did it so flawlessly. And then they were finished, and she just quickly said, oh, yeah, it was probably about a minute. There was a malfunction with or something wrong with the clock. But it was just that seamless. They knew exactly what to do.
And going from lesson to lesson, changing books. There was no like rustling or side talk or what book or how book or what. It was just, okay, leave this open this, get to work. So it was pretty seamless.
I noticed there were 3 comments I heard that I've heard from my students, and I liked her strategy. She intentionally ignores certain behaviors and then moves on to more engaging material.
And I want each of you to just pause for a minute and think about your #1 takeaway.
I do. I know that for 2 very particular cases in my classroom, I do want to focus on being way more positive with them. You know, finding ways that I can help them control their behavior, but in ways that, you know, it's continuously positive. So that's for sure my biggest takeaway, because she, like you said, there wasn't one negative thing that she said. She corrected tons of times throughout the class. So.
I'm going to just piggyback on that, the positive learning environment. And it started from when they stepped in the door. Now, she wasn't by the door, but the kids came up to her, and she had that interaction. She was ready to go. Yeah. She wasn't doing anything by her desk. She just had this positive learning environment and a safe place.
Mine has related. Definitely being positive. I think also using humor. So none of her students talked a lot, but she had a few very defiant students, and I just loved the way she had high expectations. She used humor and stood by them. I'm thinking of one particular student, and then she knew when to walk away. And eventually he was there for the half part of the class. He was completely with her.
Yeah.
So I'd like to try implementing that more.
So what's yours?
I'll pick something different. Same thing, but also I like the way that she did the whole reading part, the way that she walked through it. Okay, what are the vocabulary words, related it to their life? Okay, let's look at the pictures, and just made it this really casual, very natural way, which is how you actually naturally approach a text. And then what's the title? What do you think we're going to read? So she walked them through the steps, which are pretty sophisticated, but they're also very natural, and it felt authentic. And then that whole pausing for them to say the words. I just like that whole approach, so I